Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here with us tonight. My name is Connor Zamora, and I'm the director of the Undergraduate Theater Society's production of The Importance of Being Earnest. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Coast Salish peoples of this land, the land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. We ask you to please silence your cell phones. If you need to use the restroom during the show, you can exit to the lobby here, but please be conscious of actors that may be waiting to come on stage. I'd like to take a moment to thank a few of the many people that have made this show possible. First, our stage managers, Mateo Hull and Courtney Brewer. They have been rocks for me throughout this process, and I'm so grateful for them both. I'd like to thank Jeff Larson, Haley Thomas, and the UW School of Drama for allowing UTS to use this historic theater. I'd also like to thank our incredible house managers, Daisy Schreiber, Emma Murphy, and Alex Parr. I'd like to thank the entire cast and crew for making this show so wonderful to direct. And finally, I'd like to thank UTS's production manager, Alice Watson, and the rest of the UTS board, Priya Hendry, Julia Seveny, Ella Avital, and Ryan St. Martin. When The Importance of Being Earnest was first performed on February 14th, 1895, it received a standing ovation from a packed theater of wealthy aristocrats. The delight, as explained by A.B. Walkley, is, I quote, caused by the presentation of people seemingly engaged in the business of life and yet behaving as if their responsibilities did not exist. They dwell in a world that takes the sting out of life and substitutes the joy of living for the will to live. The result is a pervasive sense of gaiety as the one great necessity of existence. The world of these characters is a game, and I hope that you play it with them. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Did you hear what I was playing, Lane?
I didn't think it polite to listen, sir.
I'm sorry for that, for your sake. I don't play accurately. Anyone can play accurately, but I play with wonderful expression. As far as the piano is concerned, sentiment is my forte. I keep science for life.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of the science of life, have you got the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Bracknell?
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, Lane, I saw from your book that on Thursday night, when Lord Shorman and Mr. Worthing dined with me, 8 bottles of champagne are marked down as having been consumed.
Yes, sir. 8 bottles and a pint.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment, the servants invariably drink the champagne? I ask merely for information.
I would attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. I have often found that in married households, the champagne is rarely of a first-rate brand.
Good heavens! Is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I think it is a very pleasant state, sir. I've had very little experience of it myself. I have only been married once. That was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I don't know that I'm much interested in your family life, Lane.
No, it is not a very interesting subject. I never think of it myself.
Very natural, I am sure. That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Lane's views on marriage seem somewhat lax. Really, if the lower orders don't set us a good example, what on earth's the use of them? They seem, as a class, to have absolutely no sense of moral responsibility.
Mr. Ernest Worthing.
How are you, my dear Earnest? What brings you up to town?
Oh, pleasure. Pleasure. What else should bring anyone anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Algie.
I believe it is customary in good society to take some slight refreshment at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
No, in the country.
What on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one's in the country, one amuses other people. It's excessively boring.
And who are the people you amuse?
Neighbors.
Got nice neighbors in your part of Shropshire?
Perfectly horrid. Never speak to one of them.
How immensely you must amuse them. By the way, Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Yes, of course. Shropshire. Hello. Why these cups? Why cucumber sandwiches? Why such reckless extravagance in one so young? Who is coming to tea?
Merely Aunt Augusta and Gwendolyn.
How perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well, but I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolyn is perfectly disgraceful. It's almost as bad as the way Gwendolyn flirts with you.
I am in love with Gwendolyn. I have come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you'd come up for pleasure. I call that business.
Oh, how utterly unromantic you are.
I really don't see anything romantic in proposing. It's very romantic to be in love, but there is nothing romantic about a definite proposal. Like, one may be accepted. One usually is, I believe, but then the excitement is all over. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. If I ever get married, I will certainly try to forget the fact.
Oh, I do not doubt that, dear Algie. The divorce courts were specially invented for those whose memories are so curiously constituted.
Oh, there is no use speculating on that subject. Divorces are made in heaven. Please don't touch the cucumber sandwiches. They are ordered specially for Aunt Augusta.
Why, you've been eating all the time.
Well, that's quite a different matter. She is my aunt. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is devoted to bread and butter.
Oh, very good bread and butter it is too.
My dear fellow, there's no need to eat as if you were going to eat it all. You act as if you were married to her already. You are not married to her already, and I don't think you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
In the first place, girls never marry the men they flirt with. Girls don't think it right.
Oh, that is nonsense.
It isn't. It's a great truth. It accounts for the extraordinary number of bachelors that one sees all over the place. In the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
Yes, Gwendolyn is my first cousin, and before I will allow you to marry her, you will have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What on earth do you mean, Algie, by Cecily? I don't know anyone of the name of Cecily.
Bring me the cigarette case that Mr. Worthing left in the smoking room the last time he dined here.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say you've had my cigarette case all this time? I wish to goodness you'd let me know. I've been writing very frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I was very nearly offering a large reward.
I wish you would. I happen to be more than usually hard up.
Well, there's no good in offering a large reward now that the thing is found.
I think that rather mean of you, Ernest, I must say. However, it makes no mind, for now that I look at the inscription inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen it with me 100 times. Besides, you have no right whatsoever to read what is written inside. It's a very ungentlemanly thing to read what is written inside a private cigarette case.
It is absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one should and shouldn't read. More than half of modern culture depends on what one shouldn't read.
I'm aware of the fact, and I don't propose to discuss modern culture. It isn't the sort of thing one should discuss in private. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily. And you said you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you must know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, charming old lady she is who lived near Tunbridge Wells. Just give it back to me, Algie.
But why does she call herself Little Cecily if she is your aunt and lives at Tunbridge Wells?
My dear fellow, what is there in that? Some aunts are tall, some aunts are not tall. That is a matter surely every aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think every aunt must be exactly like your aunt. That is absurd. For heaven's sake, give me back my cigarette case.
But why does your aunt call you her uncle? From little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. There is no objection, I admit, in an aunt being a small aunt. But why an aunt, no matter what her size may be, should call her own nephew her uncle, I can't quite make out. Besides, your name isn't Jack. It is Ernest.
It isn't Ernest. It's Jack.
You have always told me it was Ernest. I have introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You look as if your name was Ernest. You're the most earnest-looking person I have ever seen in my life. It's perfectly absurd. You're saying your name isn't Ernest. It's on your cards. Look, here's one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4, the Albany. I shall keep it as proof. Should you ever try to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else that your name is Ernest?
My name is Ernest in town, and Jack in the country, and that cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that still does not explain why your small Aunt Cecily calls you her dear uncle. Now, go on, old boy, you better have the whole thing out at once.
My dear Algie, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It is very vulgar to talk like a dentist when one isn't a dentist.
Well,
it
that-
produces a very false impression.
Well, that is what dentists always do. Now, go on, tell me the whole thing. I may mention that I have always suspected you of being a confirmed and secret Bunburyist, and I'm quite sure of it now.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by a Bunburyist?
I will reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you are not kind enough to inform me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, first produce my cigarette case.
Here it is. Now produce your explanation and pray make it improbable.
My dear fellow, there is nothing improbable about my explanation at all. In fact, it is perfectly ordinary. You see, the old Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, made me in his will the guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who addressed me as uncle for motives of respect you could not possibly understand, lives at my place in the country under the admirable charge of her governess, Miss Peterson.
Where is that place in the country, by the way?
That it will be nothing to you, dear boy. You are not to be invited. Though I will tell you candidly, it is not in Shropshire.
I suspected as much. I have Bunburied all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions.
Well, dear Algie, I don't know if you'll be able to understand my real motives. You are hardly serious enough. You see, when one is placed in the position of guardian, one must adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. One's duty to do so. And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce much to either one's happiness or one's health, in order to get up to town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother called Ernest, who lives at the Albany and gets into all sorts of dreadful scrapes. That, my dear Algie, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is never pure and rarely simple. Modern life would be extremely tedious if it were either, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
That wouldn't at all be a bad thing.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. Don't try it. You had much better leave that to people who haven't been at a university. They do it so well in the daily papers. No, what you really are is a Bunburyist. I was quite right in saying you're a Bunburyist. You're one of the most advanced Bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
You have invented a very useful younger brother called Earnest, in order that you may be able to come up to town as often as you like. I have invented an invaluable permanent invalid called Bunbury, in order that I may be able to go down to the country when I choose. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you at Willis's tonight, for I have really been engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
I haven't invited you to dine anywhere with me tonight.
I know. You are absurdly careless about sending out invitations. It is so foolish of you. Nothing annoys people so much as not receiving invitations.
You had much better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
Oh, I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. In the first place, I dined there on Monday, and once a week is quite enough to dine with one's own relations. In the second place, whenever I do dine there, I am always treated as a member of the family, and am either seated next to no women or 2. In the third place, I know who she will seat me next to tonight. Mary Farquhar, who always flirts with her own husband across the table. That is not very pleasant. Indeed, it is not even decent, and that sort of thing is enormously on the rise. the number of women in London who flirt with their own husbands is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It is simply washing one's clean linens in public. Besides, now that I know you to be a confirmed Bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you all about Bunburying. I want to tell you the rules.
I'm not a Bunburyist. If Gwendolyn accepts me, I'll kill my brother. I'll kill him in any case, I think. Cecily has become far too interested in him and has become quite a bore, so I'll get rid of Ernest. And I would advise you to do the same with your with your invalid friend with the absurd name.
Nothing could induce me to part with Bunbury, and if you ever get married, which seems to me extremely problematic, you will be very glad to know Bunbury too. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
That is nonsense. If I marry Gwendolyn, and she's the only girl in the world I have ever wanted to marry, I won't want to know Bunbury.
Then your wife will. You don't seem to realize that in married life, 3 is company and 2 is none.
That, my dear young friend, is the theory that the corrupt French dramas have been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and that the happy English home has proved in half the time.
Oh, don't be cynical. It's perfectly easy enough to be cynical.
It isn't easy to be anything nowadays. There's such a lot of beastly competition about. That must be Aunt Augusta. Only relatives or creditors never ring in that Wagnerian manner. Now, if I get her out of the way for 10 minutes, so that you might have the opportunity for proposing to Gwendolyn, may I dine with your Willis tonight?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who aren't serious about meals. It is so shallow of them.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax. Good afternoon, dear Algernon. I hope you are behaving very well.
I am feeling very well, Aunt Augusta.
That's not quite the same thing, is it? In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Dear me, you are smart.
I am always smart. Am I not, Mr. Worthing?
Oh, you're quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Oh, I hope I am not that. It would leave no room for developments. And I intend to develop in many directions.
I am sorry if we are a bit late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on dear Lady Harbury. I hadn't been over there since her poor husband's death. I had never seen a woman so altered. She looks to me quite 20 years younger. And now I'll have a cup of tea and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Yes. Gwendolyn, won't you come sit here?
Thanks, Mama. I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens! Lane, why are there no cucumber sandwiches?
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers?
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers, not even for ready money.
It really makes no matter, Algernon. I had crumpets with Lady Harbury, who seems to me to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear her hair has turned quite gold from grief.
It certainly has changed its color. From what cause, of course, I cannot say. Thank you, Algernon. I've got quite the treat for you tonight. I'm going to send you down with Mary Farquhar. She's a very nice lady and so attentive to her husband. It's a delight to watch them.
I'm afraid I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight after all, Aunt Augusta.
I should hope not. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he's accustomed to that, but...
It is a great bore, and I need hardly say a terrible disappointment to me, but the fact is that I have just received a telegram to say that my poor friend Bunbury is terribly ill again. They seem to think that I should be with him.
It is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, Bunbury's a dreadful invalid.
Well, it is high time that this Mr. Bunbury decided whether he was going to live or to die. The shilly-shallying with the question is absurd, nor do I in any way approve of the modern sympathy with invalids. I consider it more illness of any kind is not a thing to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. I'm always telling that to your poor uncle. Well, but he never seems to take much notice as far as any improvement in his ailment goes. I should be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury, from me, to be so kind as to not have a relapse on Saturday, for I rely on you to arrange my music for me. It is my last reception, and one wants something that will inspire conversation, particularly at the end of the season when everyone has practically said whatever they're going to say, which in most cases was not much.
I shall speak to Bunbury on to that side, if he is still conscious. Though I think he should be all right by Saturday. The music is a great difficulty, of course. If one plays good music, then people don't listen. If one plays bad music, then people don't talk. But I can run over the program I've drawn out for you if you like. If you just come over into the next room with me for a moment.
Thank you, Algernon. It is very thoughtful of you. Okay, I'm sure the program will be delightful. After a few expurgations, French songs I cannot possibly allow. People always seem to think they are improper and either will shout, which is vulgar, or laugh, which is even worse. But German sounds a thoroughly respectable language, and indeed I believe is so. Gwendolyn, you will accompany me.
Oh, certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever anyone talks to me about the weather, I feel quite certain that they mean something else. That makes me so nervous.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I am never wrong.
And I would like to be able to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary
I
absence.
would certainly advise you to do so. Mamma has a way of coming back into a room suddenly that I have often had to speak to her about.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any girl I have ever met since I met you.
Yes, I am quite well aware of the fact. And I often wish that in public. At any rate, you have been more demonstrative. For me, you have always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines and has made its way to the provincial pulpits, I am told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Earnest. There is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. From the moment that Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Earnest, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me, Gwendolyn?
Passionately.
Oh, darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Earnest.
But you don't really mean to say you couldn't love me if my name, wasn't Ernest.
But your name is Earnest.
Yes. Supposing that it wasn't. You don't mean to say you couldn't love me.
That is clearly a metaphysical speculation, and like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as we know them.
To speak quite candidly, darling, I don't care much for the name of Ernest. I don't think it suits me.
It suits you perfectly. It is a divine name. It has a music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Well, really, Gwendolyn, I think there are lots of other, much better, nicer names. I think Jack, for example, a charming name.
Jack. No, there is very little music in the name Jack, if any at all indeed. It does not thrill. It produces absolutely no vibrations. I have known several Jacks, and they all, without exception, were more than usually plain. Besides, Jack is a notorious domesticity for John. Oh, and I should pity any woman married to a man called John. She would probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. The only really safe name is Earnest.
Then I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. We haven't time to waste.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely, I love you, and you have led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you are not entirely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you have not proposed to me yet. Nothing at all has been said of marriage. The subject has barely been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it would be an admirable opportunity, and to spare you any possible disappointment, Mr. Worthing, I think it only fair to tell you quite frankly beforehand that I am fully determined to accept you.
Well, Gwendolyn.
Yes, Mr. Worthing. What have you got to say to me?
You know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolyn, will you marry me?
Of course I will, darling. Oh, how long have you been about it? I'm afraid you have had very little practice in how to propose.
My own one, I have never loved anyone but you.
Oh, yes, but men often propose for practice. I know my brother Gerald does. All my girlfriends tell me so. What wonderfully large eyes you have, Ernest. Yes, they are quite large. I hope you will always look at me just like that, especially when other people are present.
Mr. Worthing! Rise, sir, from this semi-recumbent posture. It is most indecent.
I must beg you to retire. This is no place for you. Besides, Mr. Worthing had not quite finished yet.
Finished what?
I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged to someone, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. An engagement should come upon a young girl as a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be. It is hardly a matter that she could arrange for herself. And now a few questions to put to you, Mr. Worthing. Gwendolyn will wait for me below in the carriage.
Mamma!
In the carriage, Gwendolyn. Move the chairs. Gwendolyn! The carriage!
Certainly, Mamma.
You can take a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men, although I have the same list as the dear Duchess of Bolton. Well, we work together, in fact. However, I'm quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit I smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
29.
A very good age to be married at. I am of the opinion that a man who desires to get married should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I'm pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. The whole modern theory of education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would prove a serious danger to the upper classes, and probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What is your income?
Oh, between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or investments?
In investments, chiefly.
That is satisfactory. What? Between the duties expected from one during one's life and the duties exacted from one after one's death, land has ceased to be either a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. I mean, that is all that can be said about land.
I have a country house, with some land, of course, attached to it, some 1,500 acres, I believe, but I don't rely on that for my real income. I mean, the poachers are the only ones who can make anything of
A
it.
country house. How many bedrooms?
Well,
Oh, that can be cleared up. Thanks. You have a townhouse at home. Well, a girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
I have a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year to Lady Bloxham. I can get it back at 6 months' notice then.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
She goes about very little. She's a lady very considerably advanced in her years.
Nowadays that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
Oh. The unfashionable side, I thought there was something. However, that can be easily altered.
The fashion or the size?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
Oh, I'm afraid I have none. I'm a liberal.
They count as Tories. They dine with us. I mean, come an evening at any rate. Now on to more minor matters. Are your parents living?
No, I'm afraid I've lost both of my parents.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a simple misfortune, but to lose both, oh, looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he born in what the radical papers would call the purple of commerce, or did he rise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
I'm afraid I don't know. You see, Lady Bracknell, I said I had lost both of my parents, but it would be nearer to the truth to say they seem to have lost me. I don't know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes, the old Mr. Thomas Cardew who found me, and he gave me the name of Worthing because he had a first-class ticket for Worthing in his jacket pocket. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
And where did this charitable gentleman with this first-class ticket to a seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, a rather large black leather handbag, handles attached to it. A rather ordinary handbag at that.
And in what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew find you in this ordinary handbag?
The cloakroom at the Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
The cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes, the brightened line.
The line is immaterial, Mr. Worthing. I must confess, I feel somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate bred, into a handbag seems to me to display a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life that reminds one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I propose you know what that unfortunate movement led to. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at a railway station might serve to conceal a social indiscretion. Has probably been used for the purpose before now, but it could hardly be regarded as an assured basis for a good position in society.
Well, may I ask then what you would advise I do? I need hardly say I would do anything to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness.
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to produce at any rate one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
I don't see how I could do that. I could produce the handbag at any moment. It's in my dressing room at home. And I think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? You could hardly imagine that I, or Lord Bracknell, would allow our only daughter, a girl raised with the utmost care and respect, to marry into a cloakroom, form an alliance with the boss. Good morning, Miss Dorothy.
Good morning, Mr. Worthy. For goodness sake, don't play that ghastly tune, Algy. How idiotic you are!
Didn't it go off all right, old boy? Oh, you don't mean to say that Gwendolyn refused you? I know it is a way she has. She is always refusing people. I think it most ill-natured of her.
Well, Gwendolyn is right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged. Her mother, on the other hand, is perfectly unbearable. I have never met such a Gorgon. I don't even know what Gorgon is like, but I am perfectly sure Lady Bracknell is to be a monster without being a myth. It is perfectly unfair. I'm sorry, I don't mean to discuss your aunt like this in front of you, Algy.
My dear boy, I love hearing my relations abused. It's the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are simply a tedious pack of people who haven't got the remotest knowledge of how to live, nor the slightest instinct about when to die.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
I won't argue about it with you. You always want to argue about
Oh,
things.
well, that is what things were originally made for.
On my word, if I thought that, I'd shoot myself. You don't think, Algy, that there's a chance of Gwendolyn becoming like her mother in 150 years, do you?
All women become like their mothers. That's their tragedy. No man does. That's his.
Is that clever?
It's perfectly phrased, and quite as true as any observation in civilized life should be.
I am sick to death of cleverness. Everyone nowadays is clever. You can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. The whole thing has become an absolute public nuisance. I wish to goodness we still had a few fools left.
We have.
Well, I should certainly like to meet them. What should they talk about?
The fools. Oh, about the clever people, of course.
Oh, what fools!
Have you told Gwendolyn the truth about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
Oh, the truth isn't the sort of thing one blurts out to a simple, respectable girl like Gwendolyn. No. What extraordinary ideas you have about the ways to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she is pretty, and to someone else if she is plain.
That is nonsense.
What about your brother? What about the profligate Earnest?
Oh, I shall get rid of him by the end of the week. I'll say he died in Paris of apoplexy. Lots of people die quite suddenly of apoplexy nowadays, don't they?
Yes, but it's hereditary, my dear fellow. It's the sort of thing that runs in families. You had much better say a severe chill.
And you're sure that a severe chill isn't hereditary or anything like that?
Of course it isn't.
Very well. My poor brother Ernest, suddenly carried off in Paris by a severe chill. Yes, that'll get rid of him.
What about Miss Cardew? I thought you said she was a little too much interest in your poor brother Ernest. Won't she feel his loss a good deal?
I am not worried about Cecily. She is not a silly romantic girl. She has a capital appetite and loves going on long walks. Never pays attention in her lessons.
I would rather like to see Cecily.
I will take very good care that you never do. She is excessively pretty and only just 18.
Does Gwendolyn know you have an excessively pretty ward who is only just 18?
Oh. No, that isn't the sort of thing one tells her to Gwendolyn. I will bet you anything you like, however, that within 30 minutes they will be calling each other sister.
Women only do that after they have called each other a lot of other things first. Oh, if we want to get a good table at Willis's, we really must go in dress. Do you know it is nearly 7?
Oh, it's always nearly 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I never knew when you weren't.
Well, what shall we do after dinner? Shall we go to the theater?
Oh no, I loathe listening.
Well, let us go to the club.
Oh no, I hate talking.
Well, We could trot round to the Empire at 10.
No. I can't stand to look at things. It is so silly.
Well, what shall we do?
Nothing.
Well, it's hard work doing nothing. However, I don't mind hard work where there is no definite object of any kind.
Miss Fairfax.
Gwendolyn, upon my word!
Algie, kindly turn your back for a moment. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
Really, Gwendolyn, I don't think I can allow this at all.
Algie, you always adopt a strictly immoral attitude towards life. You are not quite old enough to do that. Ernest,
Gwendolyn.
Ernest, we may never be married. From the expression on Mamma's face, I fear we never shall. Few parents nowadays pay any regard to what their children say to them. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I had over Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. But, although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and I may marry someone else and marry often, nothing that she could possibly do can ever alter my eternal devotion to you.
My own darling.
The story of your romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibers of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your town address at the Albany I have. What is your address in the country?
The Manor House, Walton, Hertfordshire.
There is a good postal service, I suppose. It may be necessary to do something desperate. That, of course, will require serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily.
On my own one.
How long do you remain in town?
Till Monday.
Good. Algie, you may turn round now.
Thanks, I've turned round already.
And you may ring the bell.
You will let me see you to your carriage, my own darling.
Certainly.
A glass of sherry, Lane.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, Lane, I'm going bunburying.
Yes, sir.
I shall probably not be back until Monday. You can put out my dress clothes, my smoking jackets, all the Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
Nora, thank you. I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
It never is, sir.
Lane, you're a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
There's a sensible, intellectual girl. The only girl in the world I've ever loved. What on earth are you so amused by?
I'm just a little anxious about poor Bunbury, that's all.
If you don't take care, your Mr. Bunbury will get you into a very serious scrape someday.
I love scrapes. They're the only things that are never serious.
That is nonsense. Algie, you never talk anything but nonsense.
Nobody ever does.
Cecily. Cecily. Surely such a utilitarian occupation as the watering of flowers is rather Moulton's duty than yours, especially when the promise of intellectual pleasures awaits you. Your German grammar is on the table. Pray open it to page 15. We will repeat yesterday's lesson.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. I know perfectly well that I look quite plain after my German lesson.
Child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you improve yourself in every possible way. He laid particular stress on your German when leaving the town yesterday. Indeed, he always leaves particular stress on your German when leaving the town.
Well, dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he is so serious that I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and the very gravity of his demeanor is especially to be commended in one as comparatively young as he is. I know no one with a higher sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that is why he often looks a little bored when we three are together.
Cecily! I am surprised at you. Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality are out of place in his conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
Oh, I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We might have a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know, German and geology and, well, things of that kind influence a man very much.
I do not think that even I could produce an effect on a character who, by his own brother's admission, is irretrievably weak and vacillating. Indeed, I do not think I would desire to reclaim him. I am not in favor of this modern mania of turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so let him reap. You must put away your diary, Cecily. I really do not see why you should keep a diary at all.
Well, I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, my dear Cecily, is the diary that we all carry with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles the things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have ever happened. I believe memory is responsible for nearly all of the 3-volume novels that Moody sends us.
Do not speak slightingly of the 3-volume novel, Cecily. I wrote one myself in earlier days.
Did you really, Miss Prism? How wonderfully clever you are. I hope they did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
The good ended happily, and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so, but it seems very unfair. And was your novel ever published?
Alas, no. The manuscript, unfortunately, was abandoned.
What is that?
I use the term in the sense of lost or mislaid. To your work, child. These speculations are profitless.
Oh, but I see dear Dr. Chapel coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chastable, this is indeed a pleasure.
How are we this morning? Miss Prism, you are, I trust, well.
And Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. Oh, I think it would do her so much good to have a short stroll in the park with you, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I have not mentioned anything about a headache.
Yes, Miss Prism, I know that, but I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that and not my German lesson when the rector came in.
I hope, Cecily, that you are not inattentive.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
That is strange. Were I fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, well, I would hang upon her lips. Well, I spoke metaphorically. My metaphor was drawn from
Monday afternoon.
Yes, he does like to spend his Sunday in London. He is not one whose sole aim is enjoyment, as by all accounts that unfortunate young man, his brother, seems to be. But I must not disturb Egeria and her pupil any longer.
Egeria? My name is Letitia, Doctor.
A classical illusion, merely drawn from the pagan authors. I will see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
I think, dear Doctor, I will have a stroll with you. I find I had a headache after all, and a walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. We might go as far as the schools and back.
That would be delightful. Cecily! You will read your political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of the rupee you may omit. It is somewhat too sensational. Even these metallic problems have their melodramatic side. Horrid political economy. Horrid geography. Horrid German.
Mr. Earnest Worthing has just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing before the Albany. Uncle Jack's brother! Well, did you tell him that Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, miss, he seemed very disappointed. I mentioned that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment.
Ask Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here. I suppose you better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
Yes, miss.
I have never met a really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened. Oh, I'm so afraid that he will look just like everyone else. He does.
You are my little cousin Cecily, I am sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I am not little. In fact, I believe I'm more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin, Cecily. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest, my wicked cousin Ernest.
I am not wicked, Cecily. You mustn't think that I'm wicked.
If you are not, well, then you certainly have been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you've not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked but being really good all the time. Well, that would be hypocrisy.
Oh. Well, I suppose I have been rather reckless.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
In fact, now that you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way.
But I don't think you should be so proud of that, though I'm sure it must have been very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you.
Well, I can't understand how you were here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back until Monday afternoon.
Oh, that is a great disappointment. I'm obliged to go back up to town by the first train Monday morning. I have a business engagement that I'm anxious to miss.
Oh, couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, the appointment is in London.
I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of beauty in life. But still, I think you'd better wait until Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
You are emigrating. He has gone up to town to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you will be requiring neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? Oh, I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night that you'd have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Well, The accounts I have received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not that. That's why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission if you don't mind, Cousin Cecily.
I'm afraid I've no time this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
It is rather quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
Well, you are looking a little worse.
Well, that's because I'm hungry.
You thought this of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
A Markiel meal?
No, I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cousin Cecily.
I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me.
Well, Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says that all good looks are a snare.
Well, they're a snare that every sensible man in the world would like to be caught in.
Well, I don't think I'd care to catch a sensible man. I should hardly know what to talk to him about.
You are too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married a misanthrope, I can understand. A womanthrope, never.
Believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The precept as well as the practice of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony.
That is precisely the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. And you do not seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public. Men should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive, except to his wife.
And often, I've been told not even to her.
That depends on the intellectual sympathies of the woman. Maturity can always be depended on. Ripeness can be trusted. Young women are green. I spoke horticulturally. My metaphor was drawn from fruits. But where is Cecily?
And perhaps she followed us to the schools.
Mr. Worthing!
Mr. Worthing!
Well, this is indeed a surprise. We were not expecting you till Monday afternoon.
I have returned sooner than I have expected. Oh, Dr. Chasuble, I hope you are well.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
Our shameful debts and extravagance.
Still leading his life of pleasure. Your brother Earnest dead.
Yes, quite dead.
Let that be a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence. you have at least the consolation of knowing you were always the most generous and forgiving of brothers.
Poor Ernest. He had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No, he died abroad in Paris. I received a telegram from the manager of the Grand Hotel last night.
Was the cause of death mentioned?
Yes, a severe chill.
As a man sows, so let him reap.
Charity! Miss Prism, charity! None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to drafts. Will the interment take place here?
No, he expressed a desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? Ooh, I fear that hardly points to a very serious state of mind at the last. You would, no doubt, wish me to make some slight allusion to this tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of the manna in the wilderness can be translated to almost any occasion, joyful or, as in the present case, distressing. I have preached it at harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, days of humiliation, and festal days. The last time I delivered it was in the cathedral as a charity sermon on behalf of the Society for the Prevention of Discontent among the Upper Orders. The bishop who was present was much struck by some of the analogies I drew.
That reminds me, you mentioned christenings, I believe, Dr. Chaswell. I'm sure you know how to christen. I mean, you are continually christening.
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties at this parish. I've tried to speak to the lower classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what thrift is.
But is there any particular infant in whom you're interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was, I believe, unmarried, was he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
It is not for any baby, no, dear doctor. I am very fond of children, but the fact of the matter is, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon if you have nothing better to do.
Oh, but surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
But have you any grave doubts on the
I
subject?
certainly intend to have, although I don't know if the whole thing would put you off at any point, if you think me slightly too old now.
Not at all. The sprinkling and indeed immersion of adults is a perfectly canonical practice.
Immersion.
You need have no apprehensions. Sprinkling is all that I do think is necessary or indeed advisable. Oh, our weather is so changeable. At what hour would you wish the ceremony performed?
I might trot around about 5 if that would suit you.
Perfectly! Perfectly! In fact, I have a set of similar ceremonies to perform at that time, a case of twins that occurred recently at one of the outlying cottages on your estate. Oh, poor Jenkins the carter, a most hard-working man.
No, I don't see much fun in being christened along with other babies. It seems quite childish. Does 5:30 work?
Admirably! Oh, but now, Mr. Worthing, I will not intrude any longer into a house of sorrow. I merely beg you not to be too bowed down by your own grief. What seem to us bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
This seems to be a blessing of the most obvious type.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I am pleased to see you back. But what horrid clothes you've got on. Do go and change them.
Cecily, child!
What is the matter, Uncle Jack? Do be happy. You look as if you had a toothache. And I have got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother!
Who?
Your brother, Ernest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
What nonsense! I haven't got a brother.
Oh, don't say that. However badly he may behave to you in the past, he is still your brother. You couldn't be so heartless as to disown him. Well, I'll tell him to come out, and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are very joyful tidings.
They were all so resigned to his loss. To me, its particular resurgence is distressing.
My own brother in the dining room. I don't know what it means. It seems to me to be utterly absurd. Oh, good head.
Brother John, I have come down from town to tell you that I am very sorry for all the trouble I have caused and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing could induce me to take his hand. I find his coming down here disgraceful, and he knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There is some good in everyone. Ernest was just telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, whom he goes to visit often. And surely there must be much good in one who is kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Oh! Has he been talking about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Bunbury? Well, I won't have him talk to you about Bunbury or anything else.
Of course, I admit the faults were all on my side, but I must say, I find Brother John's coldness to me to be peculiarly painful. I expected a more enthusiastic welcome, especially considering this is the first time that I have come here.
Uncle Jack, if you do not shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me.
Never, never, never.
Well then, it is the last time I shall ever do so.
It is pleasant, is it not, to see such perfect a reconciliation? I think we might leave the two brothers together.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
Oh, you have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
Mr. Earnest's things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that is all right.
What?
Mr. Earnest's luggage, sir. I have unpacked it and placed it in the room next to your own.
His luggage!
Yes, sir. 3 portmanteaus, a dressing case, 2 hat boxes, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I can't stay more than a week this time.
Merriman, order the dog cart at once. Mr. Earnest has been suddenly called back to town.
Yes, sir.
What a fearful liar you are, Jack. I haven't been called anywhere.
Yes, you have.
I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree.
I can quite understand that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
You are not to talk of Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous. Now, why on earth don't you go up and change? It's perfectly childish to be in deep mourning for a man who is really staying a whole week with you in your house as a guest.
You are not to be staying in my house for a week as a guest or as anything else. You've got to be on by the 4 or 5 trip.
I certainly won't leave you while you are in mourning. It would be most unfriendly of me. You would stay with me if I was in mourning, I suppose. I should think it very unkind if you didn't.
Well, where you go if I change my clothes?
Sure, if you do not take too long. I never saw anyone take so long to dress and with such little result.
Better than being overdressed as you always are.
If I'm occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by always being immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden utterly absurd. Well, you have got to be gone by 4 or 5. I hope you have a pleasant journey back to town. This Bunburying, as you call it, has not been a great success for you.
I think think it has been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything. But I must see her before I go and make arrangements for another Bunbury. There she is.
Oh, I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to order the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
He's going to send me away.
Then we have got to part.
I'm afraid so. It's a very painful parting.
It is always painful to have to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity. But even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart has arrived, sir.
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
I hope I shall not offend you, Cecily, if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? I'd give anything to look at it, may I?
Oh no! You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it occurs in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. Pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in digging down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. Oh, you can go on. I'm quite ready for more. Don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
Well, I don't think you should tell me you'll love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily!
Dog Hearts is waiting, sir.
Tell it to come round next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world but you, Cecily. I love you. You will marry me, won't you?
Oh, you silly boy, of course! Why? We have been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad. Well, you of course formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And of course a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in them after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling! And when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or another, and after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you next to this bush here, and the next day I bought this little ring in your name, and this is the bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear.
Did I give you this? They're very pretty, aren't they?
Yes, wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given you for leading such a bad life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But my own dear sweet Cecily, I've never written you any letters.
Well, you need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week. and sometimes oftener.
Do let me read them, won't you?
I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. The 3 that you wrote me after I had broken off our engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled. Even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever actually broken off?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of last March. You can read the entry if you'd like. Today I have broken off my engagement with Earnest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
Why did you break it off? What had I done? I had done nothing, Cecily. I'm very much hurt indeed to hear you broke it off, particularly when the weather was so charming.
Hardly would have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. And I forgave you before the week was out. Oh!
What a perfect angel you are, Cecily.
Oh, you dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally, does it?
Yes, darling, with a little help from others.
Oh, I'm so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, will you, Cecily?
I don't think I could now that I've actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling, but it has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone of the name Earnest. There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Earnest.
Do you mean to say you could not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Oh, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name Algernon.
But my own dear, sweet, loving little darling, I really can't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It's not at all a bad name. In fact, it is a rather aristocratic name. Half the chaps who come into the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Your rector here is, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in all the rites and ceremonials of the church.
Yes, Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him on a very important christening. I mean, on very important business.
Oh.
I shan't be away more than half an hour.
Well, considering the fact that we have been engaged for the last 3 months and that I have only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard that you should leave me for so long a period of half an hour. Well, couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Hey, Miss Fairfax, I just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Well, is it Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went in the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Pray ask the lady to come here. Mr. Worthing is sure to be back soon. And you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax. Well, I suppose one of the many good elderly women whom are associated with Uncle Jack and some of his philanthropic work in London. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think it is so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other for such a comparatively short amount of time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
Then you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is all quite settled then, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be an admirable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have never heard of Papa, I suppose.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I am glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man. And certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. Makes men so very attractive. Oh, Cecily, Mamma, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is part of her system, so do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I am very fond of being looked at.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some other female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh no, I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, had the onerous task of looking after me.
Your guardian.
Yes, I am Mr. Warley's ward.
Oh! It is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that this news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I've liked you ever since I met you, but I am bound to state that now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish you were, well, just a little bit older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Oh, pray do! I think whenever anyone has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth, and honor and disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are still extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others. Modern, no less than ancient history provides us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, history, indeed, would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn, but did you say Ernest?
Yes.
And it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. No, it is his brother, his elder brother.
He never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
Well, I'm sorry to say they've not been on good terms for a very long time.
Ugh. That accounts for it. And now that I think of it, I have never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Oh, Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if a cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian?
Quite sure. In fact, well, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dear Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
Darling Cecily, I'm afraid there has been some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear on the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One must always have something sensational to read in the train. Oh, I am so sorry, dear Cecily, if it comes as any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it's caused you any mental or physical anguish, but I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, well, he clearly has changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish entanglement, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have gotten into, well, I shall never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Oh, do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrap Ernest into an engagement? Well, how dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
Oh, well, I am glad to say I have never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I lay the tea here as usual, miss?
Yes, as usual.
Many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew.
No, yes, a great many. From top of one of the hills quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town.
Quite a well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
I'm so glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Flowers are common here, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. If anybody who is anybody does, the country always bores me to death.
Oh, well, that is what the newspapers call agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering from it very much at the present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Oh, thank you. Detestable girl, but I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar's not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen at the best houses nowadays.
Hands that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar, and though I asked most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too
for?
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
Oh, from the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such manners. My first impressions are invariably right.
Well, it seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I am trespassing on your valuable time.
Oh.
No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Oh, you! Ernest!
Darling,
A moment. May I ask if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
to little Cecily. Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax, for the gentleman whose arm is at present around your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack! Oh!
Here is Ernest.
My own love.
A moment, darling. May I ask, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens! Gwendolyn! Oh!
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn! I mean, to Gwendolyn.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea in your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I felt there had been some slight error, Miss Cardew, for the gentleman now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief. Oh! Are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Oh, is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. Well, I could deny anything if I liked. But the truth is, my name is John, and it has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
Oh, my poor wounded Cecily.
Oh, my sweet wronged Gwendolyn.
Always call me sister, will you not?
There's just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother, Ernest? You look at me when I'm speaking to you, Mr. Worthing. Both of us are engaged to be married to your brother, Ernest. So it is a matter of some importance to us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn. Cecily. It is very painful for a man to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life I have ever been reduced to such a painful position, yes. I'm really quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. But I will tell you frankly that I have no brother Ernest. Oh, I have no brother at all, and I have never had a brother, and you know what? I would never intend to have one in the future. Instead,
No brother at all.
Oh, no, none.
Have you never a brother of any kind?
Oh, no, never of any kind.
I'm afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us are engaged to be married to anyone.
Oh, wait.
It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl to suddenly find herself in, is it?
Oh, let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to follow us there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
This ghastly state of things is what you call bun-burying, I suppose?
Yes, and a perfectly wonderful bunbury it is too. The most wonderful bunbury I have ever had in my life.
You have no right whatsoever to bun-bury here.
That is absurd. One has a right to bunbury whenever one chooses. Every serious bunburyist knows that.
Serious bun-buryist? Good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants to have any sense of amusement in life. I happen to be serious about bunburying. What on earth you are serious about, I haven't got the remotest idea. About everything I should fancy. You have such an absolutely trivial nature.
The only small satisfaction I can get out of all of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite so often as you used to, Alge, and a very good thing, too.
Your brother is looking a little off color, isn't he, Jack? You won't be able to disappear to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was, and not a bad thing either.
And as for your conduct toward Miss Cardew, I say that you're taking in of a simple, sweet, innocent girl like that to be perfectly inexcusable. You say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I can see no possible defense at all for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I simply wanted to be engaged to Gwendolyn. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
Oh, there's no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
I don't think there's much likelihood at all of your and Miss Fairfax being united.
Yeah, well, that is none of your business.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and then merely at dinner parties.
How you can calmly sit here eating muffins while we are in this horrible trouble, I can't make out. You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. So mother would probably get on my cuffs. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It is the only way to eat them.
I say you're eating muffins at all perfectly heartless under the circumstances.
When I am in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I'm in really great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything but food and drink. At the present moment, I'm eating muffins because I'm unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
That is no reason you should eat them all in that greedy way.
Jack, why don't you have tea cake? No, I don't like tea cake.
Good heavens! I suppose a man may eat his own muffins in his own garden.
But I thought you just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
Oh, I said it was perfectly heartless of you. Under the circumstances, that is a very different thing.
That may be, but the muffins are the same.
Algie, I wish to goodness you would go.
You can't possibly ask me to go without having some dinner. It's absurd. I never go without my dinner. Nobody ever does, except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I've just made arrangements with Dr. Chapel to be christened as Earnest at 5:45.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I have made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble myself to be christened at 5:30. I will naturally be taking the name of Earnest. Gwendolyn would wish it. We can't both be christened Earnest. It would be absurd. Besides, I have a perfect right to be christened if I like to. There is no evidence whatsoever that I have ever been christened before, and neither me nor Dr. Chasuble thinks that I ever have been. You, on the other hand, have been christened before. It is a very different thing in your case.
Yes, but I haven't been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened before.
Yes, so I know my constitution can stand it. If you aren't quite sure of your ever having been christened, I think it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. It might make you very unwell. You could hardly have forgotten that someone very closely connected with you was very nearly carried off this weekend in Paris by a severe chill.
You said yourself a severe chill was not hereditary.
It used to be, I know, but science is always making wonderful improvements in things.
That is nonsense.
Jack, you are at the muffins again. I wish you wouldn't. There are only 2 left, and I am particularly fond of muffins.
But I hate tea cake.
Why on earth do you allow tea cake to be served up for your guests? What ideas you have of hospitality?
Algernon, I do not want you here. I have already asked you to go. Why won't you leave?
I haven't quite finished my tea yet, and there's still 1 muffin left.
Oh.
The fact that they did not follow us at once into the house, as anyone else would have done, seems to me to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They are eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got to cough.
Oh, they're looking directly at us. What effrontery.
They're approaching. Oh, that's very forward of them.
Let us maintain a dignified silence.
Certainly, it's the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I might have the opportunity of meeting you.
Well, that certainly seems like a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
True. Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't, but that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it so that you might have the opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Oh, can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the gravest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. This is no time for German skepticism. Their explanations appear extremely satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That has the stamp of truth.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity.
Then you think we should forgive them?
Yes! I mean no!
True. I had forgotten there are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. But which one of us should tell them the task is not a pleasant one?
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time for me?
Certainly.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, You are prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
Oh,
To please me, you are willing to face this fearful ordeal?
I am.
I'm sorry it is to talk of the equality of the sexes. Where questions of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
They have moments of physical courage in which we women know absolutely nothing.
Oh, darling.
Darling.
Lady Bracknell!
Gwendolyn! What does this mean?
Merely that I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing Lamont.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, of physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of small course, I followed her at once by luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I am glad to say, under the impression that she's at an unusually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of a permanent income on thought. I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I have never undeceived him on any question. I would consider it wrong. But of course, you will clearly understand, Mr. Worthing, that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately. On this point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind. Now, as regards Algernon. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
may I ask if is in this house your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
Bunbury. Oh, no. Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
When did she die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
Oh, I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, Bunbury. Bunbury died.
Well, what did he die of?
Bunbury? Oh, he was quite exploded.
Exploded! Was he the victim of a revolutionary outrage? I was not aware that Mr. Bunbury was interested in social legislation. If so, he is well punished for his morbidity.
Aunt Augusta, I mean that Bunbury was found out. The doctors found out that Bunbury could not live. That is what I mean. And so Bunbury died.
Well, he seems to have had a great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I am glad, however, excuse me. Listening? I am glad, however, that he has at last come to some definite course of action. And now that we've dealt with this Mr. Bunbury, Mr. Worthing, may I ask who that young person is whose hand my nephew now holds in what seems to me a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I am engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married.
I do not know whether there is anything peculiarly exciting in the air, but the number of engagements that goes on seems to me to be above the proper average that statistics have laid down for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiry on my part would not be out of place. Mr. Worthing, is this Miss Cardew at all associated with any of the larger railway stations in London? I really desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origins was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square Southwest, Dorking Park, Gervais, Surrey, or the Sporin, Bifshire, NB.
Well, that's not unsatisfactory, I guess. Three addresses always inspire confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof have I of their authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the court guides of the period, and they are open to your inspection, Lady Bracknell.
I've known grave errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, Markby, and Markby.
Markby, and Markby. Okay. Indeed, I am told that one of the Mr. Markbys is to occasionally be seen at dinner parties, and a firm of the very highest in their profession. So far, I am satisfied.
How very kind of you. I also have in my possession, you will be pleased to hear, records of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, both the English and German varieties.
Oh, a life crowded with incident, I see. Although perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl, I am not myself in favor of premature experiences. Gwendolen, the time arises for our departure. We have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, I must ask if Miss Cardew has of any little fortune.
Oh, just £130,000 in the funds, that is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell, so pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000. And in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young girl now that I look at her. You girls of the present day have any really solid qualities. Any of the qualities that last and improve with time. We live in, I regret to say, an age of surfaces. Come here, dear. Pretty child. Well, your dress is sadly simple, and your hair almost as if nature might have left it, but we can soon alter all that. A thoroughly experienced French maid produces quite a marvelous result in a very brief space of time. I remember recommended one to a young lady Lansing, and in 3 months her own husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kindly turn around. No, the side, no, yes. Yes, wow. Indeed, there are distinct social possibilities in your profile. The two weak points in our age are its wants of position and its wants of profile. The chin a little higher too. Style largely depends on how the chin is worn. They are worn very high as present. Algernon!
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the dearest, sweetest, prettiest girl in the whole world, and I don't care 2 pence about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only those who cannot get into it do that. Pretty child. Of course, you know Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend on. And I'm not in favor of mercenary negligence. When I married Lord Bracknell, I guess I had no fortune of any kind. But I never dreamed of allowing that to stand in my way. Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
The wedding, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Augusta.
I am not in favor of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's true character before marriage, but I never advise them.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but I am Miss Carter's guardian, and this marriage is quite out of the question. She cannot get married without my consent until she comes legally of age, and that consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, might I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say ostentatiously, eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more could one desire?
Oh, it pains me very greatly to have to speak quite frankly to you, Lady Bracknell. But the truth is, I do not approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
What? Untruthful? Algernon. Impossible. He is an Oxonian.
I'm afraid there could be no possible doubts about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London on a brief question of romance, he obtained admission to my house under the means and the false pretenses of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I am just being informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Perrier Jouet Brut 89 wine that I was specifically saving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon by alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every single muffin. What makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he has known from the first that I have no brother. I have never had a brother, and I never intend to have a brother, not even of any kind. I specifically told him so yesterday afternoon.
Well, after a lot of consideration, I've decided to overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
How very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision on the matter, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, dear. No, not you. Come here, dear. How old are you?
Well, I'm only really 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
You are perfectly correct in making some slight alteration. A woman should never be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18, but only admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, it will not be very long before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So your guardian's consent is, after all, not a matter of any importance.
Pray excuse me for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but it is only fair to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Carter does not come legally of age until she is 35.
That does not seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the very highest who have, of their own choice, remained 35 for years. Lady Dumbleton is an instance in point. To my own knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she arrived at the age of 40. And that was a long, long time ago now, so I see no reason why our dear Cecily will not be even more attractive at the age you mentioned than she is at present. Hey, there will be a large accumulation of property.
Could you wait for me till I was 35?
Of course I could. You know I could, Cecily.
Yes, I felt it instinctively, but I could not wait all that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. I am not punctual myself, I know, but I do like punctuality in others, and waiting even to be married is quite out of the question.
Well, then what are we to do, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cardew states positively that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I am bound to say seems to show a somewhat impatient nature, let's say. I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
Oh, but my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must be quite aware that what you propose is out of the question.
Oh, then a passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not the destiny I propose for Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course. Well, you can choose for yourself. Gwendolyn, we've missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christenings? Sir, is that not quite somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased if he were to hear that that was the way in which you wasted your time and money.
Am I to understand then that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that, as things are now, the christening would be of much use to either of us, Dr. Chasuble.
I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. They savor of the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views which I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. However, seeing as your mood seems to be one peculiarly secular, I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I have just been informed by the pew opener that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Prism! Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. I'm on my way to join her now.
Pray allow me to detain you for a moment. This is a matter that may serve to be one of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect remotely associated with education?
She is the most cultivated of ladies and a very picture of respectability.
Okay, it's obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
I am a celibate, madame.
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, has been for the last 3 years Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion.
Sorry. Okay, in spite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. Would I?
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Canon. I have been waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism. Prism, where is that baby? 28 years ago, Prism, 28 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator that contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. After the extensive, elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police a few weeks later, the perambulator was found by itself, standing alone in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually vulgar sentimentality, but the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded in my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out of its perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag in which I had prepared a manuscript of a work of fiction during my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction, for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript into the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, I'm insisting on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained the baby.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Oh, Victoria, the Brighton line.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, wait here for me.
If you are not too long, I will wait for you my whole life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect, Dr. Chasuble. I need hardly to tell you that in families of high position, strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered the thing.
Oh, Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
The noise is extremely unpleasant. I dislike this. It sounds like as if he was having an argument. Arguments are vulgar in Dr. Mead's.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on your reply.
Oh, it seems to be mine. Yes. Here's the entries received during the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in younger and happier days. Here is a stain on the lining caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred in Leamington. And here, on the lock, are my initials. I had forgotten that during an extravagant mood I had had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I am delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
More is restored to you than this handbag, Miss Prism. I was the baby you placed in it.
Oh, you?
Yes, mother.
Mr. Worthing! Oh, unmarried!
Unmarried. I do not deny that was a severe blow. But after all, who can cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why must there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the woman who can tell you who you really are.
I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly tell me who I am?
Well, I'm afraid the news I have will not altogether please you, but you are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother? Then I have a brother after all. I've always said I had a brother. Cecily, how could you have ever doubted I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Algy, you young scoundrel. You had better act more like a brother to me. You have never acted like a brother in all of your days.
Well, not till today, little boy, I admit. However, though, I was out of practice.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Oh my own! What are you? What is your Christian name now that you have become someone else?
Heavens, I had quite forgotten the fact. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
Oh, I never change, except in my affections.
Oh, what a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
You must get it cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, at the time that Miss Prism left me in the handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been lavished upon you by your fond and doting parents.
Settles, I was christened. Now, let me know what name I was given. Let me know the worst.
Well, being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I cannot at the present moment recall what the general's Christian name was, but I have no doubt that He had one. He was an eccentric man, I admit, but only in his later years. And, that was the result of the Indian climate and marriage and indigestion and other things like that.
Algie, can't you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
My dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms.
Oh.
He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the army list of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta?
Well, the general was essentially a man of peace, except for his domestic life. But I have no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Oh! The army list of the last 4 years are here. These delightful records should have been my constant study. M generals. Malum, Maxball, Madgley, what ghastly names they have. Markby, Meaksby, Moss, Moncrief. Lieutenant, 1840. Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General, 1869, Christian names. Earnest John.
Oh.
I always told you, Gwendolyn, my name was Ernest, didn't I? Well, it is Ernest after all. Gwendolyn naturally is Ernest.
Yes. I remember now that the general was called Earnest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking the name.
Oh, Ernest, my own Ernest. Oh, I felt from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is a very painful thing for a man to find out quite suddenly that he has been speaking nothing but the truth his entire life. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, I can, for I feel that you are sure to change.
Oh, my own word.
Letitia!
At last.
Cecily, at last!
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew. You seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
Oh, on the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I have finally discovered, for the first time in my life, the vital importance of being earnest.
Thank you.